School, and your Fort Vancouver Trappers. We're going to start with the starting lineups first for the visiting Bruins of Columbia High School. Their offensive starters tonight, along the offensive line, a senior number 53, Wesley White. Also on the offensive line, senior number 55, Yadier Ruiz. Also on the offensive line, a junior number 57, Seth White. On the offensive line, senior number 69, Liam Cox. Rounding out that offensive line, a junior number 77, Matthias Posini. At the wide receiver position, a senior number 1, Petey Schlegel. Also a wide receiver, senior number 24, Braylon Childers. At another wide receiver, junior number 82, Sawyer Muehlbauer. In the backfield, a sophomore, number 5, Umberto Pulido. Also in the backfield, a senior, number 26, Landon Castilla. And under center tonight for the Bruins, a junior, number 12, Wyatt Stelma. Bruins are coached by Sean Freeze. And now the defensive starters for your Fort Vancouver Trappers. On the defensive line, a senior number 54, Micah Selvon. Also on the defensive line, a junior number 57, Drelix Antonio. On the defensive line, senior number 71, Nathan Nellis. Also on the defensive line, senior number 75, Ryan Faumuina. Rounding out that defensive line, a senior number 79, Isaiah Muli Moetau. At linebacker, junior number 5, Matthew De Jesus. Also at linebacker, junior number 20, Dennis Zayats. At another linebacker, junior number 55, Isaiah Weiger. And rounding out the linebacking core, sophomore number 18, Logan DeWeiss. In the defensive backfield, junior number 4, Baker Olson. And rounding out the Trapper defense, a defensive back, junior number 14, Aiden Hyde. Your Trappers are coached by Doug Bilodeau. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, just want to remind you that the located in the field house down behind the north end zone. You can head on down there, get yourself a warm beverage, some popcorn, hot dogs, whatever you might need to eat, and get you through this crisp evening tonight. All proceeds go to benefit for Vancouver Trappers Booster Club. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your hats to the playing of our national anthem by the combined band from Fort Vancouver High School and McLaughlin Middle School under the direction of Keith Norris.
Hello and welcome everybody to this VPS Game Time presentation of Greater St. Helens League football. Tonight, the Fort Vancouver Trappers play host to Columbia of White Salmon at the frosty confines of Kiggins Bowl. My name is Nick Voll. I'll be with you all night tonight, flying solo on the call here. We're looking forward to a fun football game. We've got two teams that have struggled a bit this season, but seem to be evenly matched tonight. I look forward to bringing this game to you, and this is our final regular season game of the year. So kind of a culmination for all the work all of our students have been putting in all year, just like these players, and hope to have a good one for you here as you see the teams come out onto the field for the pregame toss. If you were watching earlier tonight, you saw Skyview take care of business as they needed to do against Union, winning 34-0, sealing what will likely be a second place finish at the 4A Greater St. Helens League. And we may have that game for you next week if they are playing here at Kiggins Bowl. We'll try to bring that to you, but for now, let's focus on Fort versus Columbia. Two teams that, you know, like I say, have struggled a bit this year, but are looking to turn things around. Fort Vancouver winning their first game of the year, but have let the last few slide here, so they're trying to get back on their feet. And Columbia looking for their first win of the year. It's a long way from White Salmon, and it is a cold night, so a lot of warm-ups out there, a lot of cold players. Going to see some steam coming off some players, I bet. This is definitely the coldest game of the year for us, although it was a beautiful day earlier today. I can say this, I am simply glad it is not raining. Looks like the teams have tossed and we'll be underway here shortly. Fort Vancouver coached by Doug Bilodeau, and Columbia coached by Sean Fries. You can see Coach Bilodeau giving the team pep talk out there. So what you're going to see out of this Fort Vancouver football team is a running approach, a lot of high-flying players looking to make plays on defense, a lot of energy on this Fort team. Not a big team, but a fast team, a lot of effort. Coach Bilodeau, kind of a trademark of his teams, is it's a high-effort bunch whenever he's on the field or at Kiggins here with his team. Looks like Columbia is going to return. We got two deep here. Looks like Braylon Childers and Wangani Schlegel. Joey Roper to kick. Wait, did I say Joey Roper? I've been doing too many football games. I'm not sure what the delay is here, but we're starting to get close to going here. Kind of unusual coloring on some of these Columbia players with orangey yellow. You can see there on your screen undershirts. More than one of them have them, so I'm curious if there's some story behind that. See the Columbia C, much like the Kama C or the Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Reds C. Saw some folks from Columbia filing into the stadium here tonight as we were getting ready, so I know they're excited for this one and hoping to see that first win of the year for their squad. And we're off. High kick going to be fielded around the 20-yard line. Now that ball's off his chest. Ball's loose, he picks it up. Now he's got a little bit of space if he can squirt through the hole. Can't quite get there, but pulls it all the way out to about the 37-yard line. So good starting field position here for Columbia. So Schlegel with the muff initially, but recovers it and brings it back. Looks like starting quarterback is going to be Wyatt Stelma, 5'9" junior. So Stelma under center here. You've seen a lot of shotgun these days in high school football, but not from Columbia so far. He's going to hand it off the middle to the fullback. He's going to pick up about 2-3 yards, kind of pushes that pile forward, and Columbia with a good first play here. So 3 yards officially on the pickup. So I think this is what we're going to see out of these teams. You can see it in the huddle, methodically going over the play call. These are teams that are not going to move too fast. They're going to look to run the ball, try to eliminate turnovers. A game like this often comes down to that sort of thing. Who holds on to the ball and who dominates that time of possession. Here's a little pitch out to the outside. He's got a little bit of room off the tackle. Kind of shifts his way all the way to a first down. Good bit of running there. So Schlegel, who we saw on the kick return, picks up the first down. You can see why he is a kick returner and running back. Great shifty feet there. See on, oh, almost had the replay there. So Schlegel, kind of that classic mode of the shorter running back where he's listed at 5'6". Hard to see him if you're in the defensive backfield and, you know, behind the big guys, and that aids him in being able to be evasive. So 1st and 10 here for Columbia. Another little handoff to the fullback, and he picks up a good 4 yards. So Columbia doing what it wants to do here, pound that football and pick up yards. So now inside Fort Vancouver territory. Let's see the replay there. I believe that is Landon Castilla on that carry. So 2nd and 6. So tight formations is what we've seen so far from Columbia. Here's a little end around. He's got some space, got a block, cuts inside. Now he cuts back across the field. The flag comes out. This may be coming back. What a run. If that stands, an incredible run from Petey Schlegel. But flags all over the place. We'll see what the final call ends up being. Looks like a holding penalty on Columbia, so that will not count. All that work from Petey Schlegel for no points, but wow, you can see the wheels on that guy and just what a great cut he has. A lot of talent in the Schlegel family. But the officials will be marching this one back. There's a flag kind of in the area of holding around the 35-yard line. There's another one deep into the end zone. I'm guessing that's on the tackle. Tackle coming around the neck area, so that may be, yeah, so here's the call. They're holding against White Salmon and a personal foul against Fort Vancouver. They are offsetting. So they'll take over for 2nd and 6. Kind of the same place we were just a second ago. Well, I mean, literally the same place we were just a second ago. So players talking it over here. Looks like they're talking to the official. Or officials are trying to get them set. And now we're underway. Motion man for Columbia. It's going to be a handoff to the running back. Bounces to the outside of the left. That's going to be a first down. Humberto Polito with the carry. So Columbia not shy about spreading that football around. Kind of one of those offenses where you've got 3 or 4 options, and the defense you've got to keep up and see who has that ball because it could be anywhere. Watch this. Here's Polito. Gets a nice block there from the fullback and cuts out to the outside, picking up that first down before being dragged out. So Polito with the carry, but Castillo with the great block. First and 10 on the 35. It's going to be another handoff up the middle. This time it's back to Schlegel. Schlegel bounces out of a tackle. He's got some space to the right side. He's going for that flag. He's in. Touchdown, Columbia. Wow, great run out of Wangani Schlegel. They took one away from Petey. Wangani says, I'll take it. Watch this. Fort had the opportunity to get him in right around here, and he breaks this tackle. 4 red jerseys around him. None of them can bring him down, and there goes Schlegel. It's a foot race at this point, and he wins. So 6-0, Columbia. See if they have a kicker or if they're going to go for 2. Looks like they're going to be going for 2. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. nearing the goal line. Let's see if he crossed it. The officials bring it in. It does not look like he will have made it. Nope. Good bit of tackling there out of the Trappers to stuff that run. So 6-0 Columbia, just 2 minutes and 5 seconds into this football game. Well, folks, while we have a second, I want to tell you about Parent Square. If you're a VPS parent, you haven't done this yet, it's a great way to get a hold of your children's teachers, see their grades, get the latest on all of the things happening with your kid at school. It is a school communication app. You can go online, obviously, pick it up, or you can go to parentsquare.com and sign in, or, you know, if you're like me, just do it the easy way. Go to vanistita.org, find the link, and sign yourself up. Be connected with your child's education. It's easy, it's free, so why not do it? So now Columbia with the kickoff here. So I was talking earlier about those yellow and orange jerseys. You see a lot of yellow on this team, and that right there from coach has the C on it. So this is officially branded Columbia merchandise here. Back to kick is Humberto Polito, who we saw with a carry just a few moments ago. Classic high school football stuff, double duty for most players, or triple duty perhaps in Polito's case. Yeah, I'm willing to bet we'll see him on defense as well. So an onside kick attempt. That ball is going to go out of bounds. So gutsy attempt there by Columbia, but for Fort Vancouver just wisely letting that go out of bounds. I don't think it got 10 yards, or if it did, it got there right at the end as the football went out of bounds. But, you know, if you're Columbia, you're winless. You want to come in here and be aggressive and try to take this win, and so they're doing what they can. Looks like there's the penalty call, that ball bouncing out of bounds, but Fort's going to take over here. So great field position here for Fort Vancouver to start this game on their opponent's 46-yard line. I'm going to see what they can do on their first possession. Kyler Smith in on your screen right there. Kyle Sammy behind him, number 24. You see Smith there, number 11 at quarterback. Now it looks like Fort's going to want to talk this one over. Yep, timeout Fort here. Kind of a tough one here. You see Coach Billido asking his players what's going on. You know, when you do a football game by yourself like I am tonight, there's going to be some silent parts, and I'll try to minimize those. But in the meantime, we can talk about some other stuff happening in the school district. Let me see, what do I got for you? All right, here's a cool thing. If you're like me, you go to the sporting events, you want to skip the line, and the line here at Kiggins Bowl can get pretty darn long, gofan.co. Man, I wasted this announcement. They're going to start right back up again. I'll come back to that one. So Fort with its first play from scrimmage. Got two receivers up on the right, one on the left. They're going to hand it off up the middle. There's Sammy. Great bit of tackle breaking, and then drags that defender up to the 39-yard line. So good first play here from Fort Vancouver. Totally different approaches there on offensive in the formations you could see there. Columbia tight all together. Fort's going to spread you out a little bit. Now they are primarily going to run this football, but they'll spread you out to do it. Kind of the classic pro offense. Fort looking sharp tonight in those all red unis with the shiny helmets. So 2nd and 3. Sammy with the carry. He's going to try to break it up the middle. Good bit of tackling there. Didn't quite get to the marker. Bringing up a short 3rd down. Looks like that was Matthias Passini on the tackle. Big guy, Passini. Listed at 6'2", 240. Not a guy you want to run into if you're that Trapper running back. So 3rd and 3, although this is likely 4-down territory if they don't get it here. Smith joined in the backfield by Dennis Zayetz and Kyle Sammy. Oh, little confusion there. No one to hand it off to. A pair of Bruins in the backfield. And so a big loss there for Fort Vancouver is going to take them all the way back to the 46-yard line. Smith turned one way expecting a running back. No running back was there. Although actually the spot's pretty generous. They gave him forward progress, and he didn't actually lose that much on the play. So some big bodies there on that Columbia front line, proving already to be difficult for Fort. Let's see what they dial up here on 4th and 5. Smith out of shotgun. He's going to hand it off up the middle to the big body. Nowhere to go. Good bit of tackling. So Zayat's on the tackle, a big dude, but when you're met by two other big dudes, it's pretty tough to keep that ball moving forward. So that's going to be a turnover on downs, and Columbia is going to take over, up 6-0 here in the first quarter. As I mentioned, a lot of these players doing double duty, so one thing we'll see as the evening progresses here is how fatigue is going to play into this game, because when you're taking every snap on either side of the ball, by the end of the fourth quarter, you're going to be gassed if you haven't been doing your conditioning. Here's a run up the middle. Not much there for Polito. Good little sportsmanship there. The Columbia player helping pick up the Fort player, Yadier Ruiz there, showing a little good sportsmanship. So 2nd and 8 here for Columbia. Seeing them in the variation of the same formation we've seen them in so far. I have a feeling this is the one we're going to see tonight. Little end around here. Schlegel breaks a tackle, keeps his feet going, picks up a first down. So Petey Schlegel picks up the first down. Kind of got spun around there, but kept his feet. Columbia's in business again, now in Trapper territory. First and 10 on the 45. Here's Schlegel in motion again to the right side. Little pitch out. Polito, he's got some space, cuts it back. Flag comes in. It looks like there may have been a face mask. Every official threw a flag there. So Umberto Polito with the carry, and he popped up giving us that motion, so he knew what was going on. Now the official's talking it over. See what our umpire says here. Personal foul, face mask. Yes, that's going to be the big one. That's 15 yards. So Columbia marching forward here. It's one of those mistakes the coaching staff just drives them nuts because it's such an avoidable penalty. See them talking it over here. So Stelma behind quarterback. Schlegel started to go in motion, fell down, pitches it out instead to the other Schlegel, trying to find some space. A lot of red jerseys. Still picks up about four yards there. So Wangani Schlegel with the carry. It gets slippery down on that turf when it's cold like this. The condensation starts building up a little bit. And you saw that there a moment ago with Petey Schlegel trying to go in motion, kind of slipping and falling down, and was able to recover. But you might see a little bit of that tonight just because as the evening progresses and the temperature gets colder, the condensation forms. Just becomes kind of a factor. I'm also curious tonight if we're going to see the classic steam bowl form over the field, as you sometimes see in high school football when all of the guys sweating down there release kind of a steam cloud and the field is covered with it. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. Here's a bit of motion now. Polito on the run. Nowhere to go. met by a lot of red jerseys. So 3rd and about 4 here. Columbia River looking to make a stop. Excuse me, 3rd and 2. See Drelix Antonio there helping make that tackle. But I have a feeling tonight we're not going to see a lot of punts. We're not going to see a lot of field goals. We're not going to see a lot of passes. We're going to see some just straight up smash mouth football, and so far Columbia is winning on that front. So another tight formation here for Columbia. Going to hand it to the up man. He's got some space, and there's another first down. So Columbia doing what it wants to do. Landon Castilla on the carry, rumbling forward for about 6 yards, and that's going to move the chains. 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Columbia up 6-0 on the Fort Vancouver Trappers and threatening to put up 6 more on the 8-yard line. So 1st and goal. Here's the handoff to Castilla again, and he just moves that pile forward. Good bit of up front work there by the Columbia Bruins, and they get it down to about the 2-yard line of Fort Vancouver. So 2nd and goal on the 3-yard line. I have a feeling we're going to see what we just saw there. These runs up the middle so far have been tough for the Trappers to stop. Here's the handoff. Schlegel bounces to the outside. He cuts across, and that's a touchdown. Columbia on the board again, up 12-0 on the Trappers here at Boggs Field. So just bit by bit, Columbia doing what it wants to on offense. You see the great little cut around, just kind of dances around until he gets into the end zone. Again, going for 2 here. See what they can dial up. The Trappers able to stop the last time they went for 2. Little pitch out to the outside. And he's in. Polito with the run, and it is 14-0 Columbia. So you can see Polito, a big guy, tough to bring down. Also got some wheels. So I was telling you just a minute ago about this way to get into football games, and it's a pretty cool thing. And it's not just football games, it's any sporting event you want to go to. GoFan.co, it's a thing that school districts across the country are doing. We're doing it here in Vancouver as well. You buy your tickets in advance just like you would in a pro game. Go to the website, GoFan.co. You can also visit your school's athletics website to buy the tickets. And if you've ever been here at Kiggins Bowl for a football game, especially a big football game, you know how long the line gets at the ticket area. The only line longer, of course, is the line at the concession stand. And so with this GoFan.co, buy your tickets in advance. And I tell you what, earlier tonight at the Skyview game, I got my food. I got my food with an app as well. Ordered it for the crew from the Skyview band. They've got an app you can order ahead and skip the line at the concession stand. So if you're a Skyview fan, look out for that next time you come to the game. I got my hamburgers and hot dogs in about 2 minutes instead of waiting 20 minutes in line. All right, here's the kick. Nice looking boot, but this one may sail out of bounds. Wow, what a kick. That's still a loose ball. No one's picked it up yet. Now finally the Trappers pick it up on the 1. My goodness, what a kick. Aiden Hyde eventually picks it up and brings it out to about the 10. That ball looked like it was going to go out of bounds, but it just sort of sat down, finally landing at the 1-yard line. And again, on a kickoff, as you know, it's loose until somebody picks it up. So kind of a dangerous, look at that right there. I mean, you couldn't do that if you tried. So Columbia with the outstanding kick, and now Fort pinned back in its own territory, starting on its own 10-yard line.
Holding is the signal against the Trappers.
And it looks like there's a flag on the play as well, holding against the Trappers. So that's going to march it back even farther. So starting on their own 5-yard lines, staring down 95 yards to the end zone. See what the Trappers come up with here. Of course, this is the final week of the season here for these high school football teams, and so for these seniors, the last opportunity to get out there and put the pads on. I've always thought high school football is interesting to me because kids spend so much time building up to being these great players, and then as soon as you turn 18, you're done playing football. So it's kind of a big deal here for these guys to get these last reps in. So there's a handoff up the middle, kind of a low snap, just barely going to stay outside of the end zone for avoiding a safety there. They got to push back to the 2. Of course, Columbia wants the safety, but with forward progress, Zayats gets out of the end zone. So that snap came in low, and the handoff was kind of not muffed or fumbled exactly, but a difficult handoff, and it costs them when it comes to the penetration there from that Columbia defense. You can watch this here, that low snap, and just nobody stopping. What great tackling there. That was Seth White. Just stays down. He was making the tackle on his hands and knees, but still got it done. Great camera shot there from Cam 4. Ethan down there. So 2nd and 13 from the 2. Columbia going to send everybody, although I see a flag coming in here. I'm not sure what the call is, but delay a game against the Trappers. Pushes them back another yard, so they're going to be on the 1-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 14 for Columbia River. So we might see, I mean, if Columbia can do what it's been doing so far with that defensive line, we might see a safety here if the Trappers aren't careful. See if they run it or try to air it out at all. They've got receivers up and down the lineup. Looks like they're going to pass it. A flag comes out. And if that's on the Trappers, did he get out of the end zone? It's going to be close. Looks like the official's saying he did just barely get out of the end zone, but there are flags everywhere. I don't know if that's going to be a false start or a holding penalty. Well, I don't think it's a false start because they would have whistled that play dead, but the flags came out immediately. No, it is a false start. Okay. Shouldn't second guess myself there. Kind of looked like it on the, when the play was in live action. So just hit me what these Trappers uniforms look like tonight. They are wearing Alabama uniforms. There's a program to emulate if you're a Trapper fan. Kind of the Trapper red is awfully similar to the Alabama red, kind of somewhere in between red and maroon. So 3rd and 14, ball on the 1-yard line. Got 3 wide receivers up top and 1 down low. The lefty delivers outside, had a man, just couldn't quite deliver it. I think Aiden Hyde was in at quarterback there and just couldn't connect. I may be wrong about it. I think that was Smith still. I misread the number. In any case, it's 4th and 14 on the 1-yard line. So no matter what happens here for Columbia, they're looking at great field position, trying to build on this early lead. 2:04 left here in the first quarter. So right on the end of his own end zone. He does get a good kickoff. Oh boy, that is a good kick. Let it bounce here, does Columbia, so great kick there. I didn't see the kicker's number, so I'll give you the name when I've got it, but that's about an ideal scenario there for Fort. They're pushed all the way back, and the farther back you get pushed, the less room that punter has, and he got that football and quickly got it off. It's important to have a good snap there, and that one was perfect. So Fort did what it needed to do to escape the shadow of its own end zone here, but they need to make a stop if they want to stay in this football game. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line for Columbia. So that tight formation. They're going to do an end around here. Schlegel, he's got some space to the outside. He's got still on his feet and then eventually goes down. Kind of lost him there for a moment on the far side of the field in that sea of white jerseys, but no, looks like he's going to be just short, so it's going to be second down. If you've never been to Kiggins Bowl, if you're perhaps watching this from White Salmon or wherever you may be, it's truly a bowl. It was not built for football, so the main grandstands are actually fairly far from the field. So sometimes when that ball gets to the far side, it's kind of tough to see what's happening over there. So here's another play up the middle. Castilla still on his feet, picks up about 8 yards, and that's going to be a first down. So Landon Castilla, really impressive here how Columbia is spreading that ball around and how talented those runners are. So if you had asked me, just watching this Columbia football team, if they were winless coming into the final game of the season, I would have said no way. So, you know, you can see the talent here, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to build that momentum up for this team. So looking good tonight. Another handoff up the middle. A lot of space there. Polito picks up about 7 yards. So just straight downhill running here from Columbia. So 8 yards on the carry. Under 30 seconds left here to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 2. Probably one more play, or they're just going to walk this one off the field. Looks like they're just going to walk this one off the field and start over in the second quarter. And there's that run from Polito right up the middle. So at the end of one, Columbia with the early lead, 14-0 over the Trappers. We've seen, I think, one pass attempt so far from either team. There's that great combined Fort Vancouver and McLaughlin Middle School band rocking out tonight. Doing a great job at keeping the crowd, as it were, hyped up. Cold, bitterly cold night here, so the crowd not normally this small, but tonight, the late game in the cold, keeping people away perhaps. But the spirits are high with the band and the cheerleaders down here. The Fort bringing, apparently it looks like all the cheerleaders tonight. There's probably about 25 of them down there, so a lot of spirit here at Kiggins Bowl. Folks, make sure you stay tuned for halftime. We've got some news from around Vancouver Public Schools. Get the latest on some cool stuff happening with teacher training, learning how to transition kids from middle school to high school successfully, and that happening at Fort. So the middle school teachers at McLaughlin Middle School and Geyser Middle School on the recent in-service day met up with teachers from Fort Vancouver High School, and they're working on getting kids to transition. See what I was saying? Look at all those cheerleaders. A lot of spirit down there. Great job, Trappers. Anyway, a story on that is coming up at halftime, along with some other, cool stuff you'll want to see, including some opportunities for students to get hands-on with construction and careers in construction. So, I don't know, some fun stuff. I think you'll like it. So, 2nd and 3 here from Columbia as they're about to start the second quarter. Now, we're seeing a different formation for the first time from Columbia. They've got a wide receiver down on the left. Let's see what they do here. Man in motion. A little fake pitch. This time he's going to keep it up the middle. Wow, great bit of running. We have a new quarterback in as well. Kai Brousel. Big guy, 6'3", 180 pounds. He carries it all the way up near the goal line. So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 2. Watch this. Fakes the pitch and just hangs on to it and runs right up the middle. Found a little seam there and nearly got into the end zone. You see Brousel there. Now, we didn't see him in the first quarter, so I'm curious if there's something preventing him from playing in the first quarter. Looks like a false start there. Yeah, everybody saw that one. Looked like Braylon Childers there just with that step backwards, and you can see him drop his head. He knew he did it as soon as he did it. So that's going to march Columbia back 5 yards. A bit of a break there for the Trappers. see some Columbia fans there with the hot chocolate, obligatory on a night like tonight where it's so cold. The concession stand here, manned by Fort volunteers, raking it in on the hot chocolate dollars. They need to jack up the prices tonight, build some more money for the Booster Club. All right, so here's a hand up the middle. Castilla still on his feet? How did he stay on his feet? Amazing. Touchdown, Columbia. Wow. Castilla appeared to be down, but it's one of those where he landed on the defender, so no part of his knee or elbow touched. Watch this replay here. The high snap, here's Castilla, started to get pulled down. Look at that. Lands on the big defensive lineman and then rumbles into the end zone. Just incredible awareness on his part to know he wasn't down and keep playing. No whistles came, so he kept going. So, wow, he landed on top of Ryan Faumuina and just bounced up and kept going. So now 20-0 Columbia as they look to go for 2 and get up 3 touchdowns here. So a high snap, fumbled, looking for somewhere to go, keeps pushing forward. Is he going to get in? He does. Wow. So good pursuit there and good bit of pressure, but Kai Brausel hangs on and uses that big frame to lean across the end zone and picks up the 2-point conversion. So now 22-0 Columbia over Fort Vancouver. So we'll see what kind of response Coach Bilodeau can dial up here. Keep the guys engaged, keep them moving forward. It's a big lead, but it's not an insurmountable lead. Watch this. See, the high snap, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and just bowls over that defender. And when you're 6'3", 180 pounds, you can do that. He's listed as a wide receiver, but taking direct snaps here, kind of like a wildcat concept. Now Columbia set to kick off. Polito, as I mentioned, the kicker and also one of the main running backs. Small rosters for both of these teams, so not a lot of room for margin of error here if there's injuries, things like that. On a cold night, sometimes we'll see that, some pulled muscles, some cramps, that sort of thing. Hopefully we won't see much of that tonight. So here's Polito, kind of a low line drive kick, going to be kind of muffed there, and it eventually goes out of bounds. That's a difficult kick to bring in. It's going fast, and Matthew DeJesus, I believe, was attempting to field that one, kind of went through his hands and then out of bounds. But it was high. Just kind of a tough one. In any case, it is going to be Trapper football on about the 13-yard line. So another bad start for them in terms of field position. Trapper's a long way to go to get to that end zone. Another spread formation here for Fort Vancouver. 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. There's a hand up the middle, met immediately. Seth White with another big play on defense. He's big and he's strong, and they did not let him go forward there. That was Kyle Sammy on the carry. Just no opportunity to make a move. So still over 10 minutes left here to go in the second quarter. Fort Vancouver trying to get some positive yardage here. So they've got 2 on the right side. 1 wide receiver up top. Here's a handoff up the middle. Sammy again, still nowhere to go. So Yadier Ruiz and Seth White again there on the tackle, and it looked like perhaps Matthias Piscini in there as well. So another long third down here for Fort. 3rd and 12 on their 11-yard line. Got a late arriving trapper here, bringing in the play call. Kyler Smith, the quarterback. See what they can put together here, try to pick up some yardage. Smith back to pass, looking for a second pass of the game. He's got a man up the middle, overthrows him. He was there. That ball came in with a lot of heat, and Aiden Hyde couldn't bring it in. So it's going to be 4th down for the Trappers. You see that punt team come on. So, you know, wasn't a completion, obviously, but it was an interesting play for the Trappers there. They had open men. It's just a matter of executing, and it's hard sometimes, too, when you're the quarterback and you're not throwing a lot to nail the one you get every now and again, to find that touch. Kyler Smith there, you can see on your screen, frustrated with himself, just sort of airmailed that one. So here's the kick, just gets it off. A high, short kick, nearly blocked. Going to go out of bounds around the 30-yard line. So great field position here for Columbia to start its 4th possession of the game, and they're 3 for 3 so far. Let's see what they can dial up on number 4. Columbia bringing the heat on that kick. Our crew tonight, nearly entirely Fort Vancouver students. Our program, VPS Game Time, is open to every student across the school district, and we had some students from Skyview here tonight earlier for the Skyview game, and they have a homecoming dance tonight, so those kids took off, but we still have our great Fort crew here tonight bringing you these awesome images. So man in motion here for Columbia. Kind of a fake swing and a dangerous screen, but that is complete. I don't know how he squeezed that in there, but that was complete to Petey Schlegel. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that, because that was a dangerous pass up for grabs there, but Columbia manages to bring it in and pick up some positive yardage. So the first pass attempt we've seen out of them tonight, watch this. Fakes it, sort of throws it up there off his back foot, and in the middle, just coming down with it is Petey Schlegel. So back in at quarterback is Brossel. Man in motion, Schlegel. Brossel's going to keep it to the outside. Brings it back to the middle, gets a little assist from his lineman, just pushing him forward. So good bit of tackling there out of the Trappers, bringing down the big guy. See if he got, it looks like he did get the first down. We've seen a few cutbacks tonight, and it's easy to speculate from up here, but sometimes players electing to cut back and pick up 2 yards instead of taking the risk and going to the outside and maybe picking up more. Because it looked like if he had potentially bounced to the outside there, he might have had nobody in front of him. There's another handoff up the middle. Castilla there. Is that ball loose? See what the officials have to say. Looks like it's Trapper football. So a break goes the Trappers' way, and maybe this is the thing that they can capitalize on to get the momentum going. You see up the middle, you don't really see the ball come out, but you do see the pylon at the end on top of that football. The Trappers are going to take over in their own territory here, deep inside their own territory at the 6-yard line. So back in here, Kyler Smith, we saw him a moment ago. Make that throw over the head of his receiver. Let's see if he gets another opportunity to throw this football. That ball's on the turf, and he's just going to dive on it. Tough break there for the Trappers as they get pushed back even further. Looks like we do have a Trapper down. So we're going to take a break for just a moment while they attend to him. Sometimes it's tough on those plays, those broken plays that just sort of become dog piles, and if you're on the bottom of it, sometimes it can hurt. So he's now rolled onto his back as the trainers come out. So we'll wait for a moment to see what's going on with him. You know, folks, we've got a second. I'm going to show a commercial. It's a commercial. Not really a commercial because we're a school district, but it's about a career opportunity you could have if you're looking for work. We'll be right back.
All of our drivers that they are the
All right, I bailed out of the commercial. The good news is our player is up. He's moving around. Bad news is I didn't get to finish that commercial, so sorry if you were into it. 2nd and 14 here for Fort. Smith trying to run the option here. Thought about pitching it outside, didn't have it, still picked up about a yard. Probably the best decision for him there to keep it, and he does so. And watch it here, he's looking, he just decides to keep it, runs into his own player, but getting pulled down the entire time by Matthias Passini, a name we've called a number of times tonight. The cheerleaders there, the coldest people probably on the field. So 3rd and 12 for the Trappers on the 4-yard line. 6.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. They've got 3 receivers on the bottom side of your screen, 1 on top. Smith looking to pass, throws it down the middle. That ball is nearly intercepted. Falls to the turf, and it's going to be 4th down for the Trappers. I don't have a number 18 on my roster, so I'm not sure who that player was, but you could see the frustration there. That ball nearly in the right spot, but a collision at the point of the ball arriving. Here we'll see a replay of that. So Smith's got an arm. You can see it. Kind of whips it out there, but those players sort of collide, and great bit of defense there from Braylon Childers. So here's a low end-over-end punt. It's not going to get too far. They decide to pick it up to Schlegel. But nowhere to go once he does pick it up, so it's going to be 1st and 10 here for Columbia on the 34-yard line of Fort Vancouver. Wyatt Stelma back in at quarterback. So that classic tight formation here for Columbia. Man in motion is, oh, looks like we're going to have another penalty. See if that was offsides or false start. I'm thinking it's an offsides, but we'll see what the official says. Yep, offsides, and so Columbia going to march forward 5 yards and try again. First and 5 on the 29-yard line. Man in motion is Schlegel. Hands off up the middle. Not a lot of space there for Polito. So 3-yard pickup. They're looking at 2nd and 2. Great bit of containment there. Matthew DeJesus just sort of sat in his spot waiting for the man to come to him and was able to make the tackle there. Didn't over pursue. So look at how tight that formation is. Here's Columbia again with the end around to Schlegel. Petey Schlegel on the outside. He's got an opportunity here. Cuts back again. into the end zone. Petey Schlegel, touchdown. Great running there. Just toying with that defender back and forth until he found the space he needed to dive into the end zone. We'll see it on the replay here, I'm sure, in a moment. Just incredible running out of the Schlegels and Polito and Castilla. So watch this. Gets the end around, gets a great block on the outside, cuts back again, diving into the end zone. 28-0 Columbia. Now going for two. Schlegel in motion again. Handoff up the middle. Castilla walks into the end zone. So 30-0 Columbia. Surprising result here in the first half. These teams coming in appearing to be very evenly matched. Fort Vancouver with a 1-7 record. Columbia with an 0-8 record. But Columbia came in ready to play football tonight, and they're up 30-0. See Fort talking it over. They've got, if my math is correct, they've got 27 minutes here left in the game clock to end this season on a positive note and try to make a comeback here. And it's a cliche, but one of the great things about sports is how you react to adversity says a lot about you, and it says as much about you as when you're winning. So we'll see how the Trappers respond here. And obviously they're disappointed. You can see it there for a moment on Kyler Smith's face, and you see it on William Monroe there. We'll see if they can keep pushing here. And that's a trademark of this team we've seen throughout the last few years with Coach Bilodeau is they keep pushing. They're not always, ahead in the scorebook, but they keep pushing and making an effort and playing football. So here's the kick. Good kick deep back to the 10-yard line, and that ball is dropped and picked up. Trying to find some space. Picks up a block, now bounces it to the outside. Great bit of running and great bit of pursuit there. So a pair of 14s. That's Aiden Hyde on the return, and great pursuit there by Bryce Wang to bring him down. But there's a bit of positivity there for the Trappers. A high-quality return, and they're going to finally start a possession outside of the end zone area on their own side. So they're going to start on the 31-yard line. Give those cheerleaders something to cheer about. 5:08 left here in the first half. So 2 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen, 1 on the top. Smith out of shotgun. There's a flag. Looks like it's a delay of game against the Trappers. So it's going to be 1st and 15. It's hard here at Kiggins Bowl sometimes. We, at the stadium, have had a play clock in years past, and I don't know if it's no longer operational or what the deal is with that. So sometimes it is hard when you don't have that big reminder off at the end of the field to say, hey, you're running out of time. So here's Smith out of shotgun, looking to pass. The lefty dials it down the middle. That ball is complete. First down, Fort and more. Good bit of vision there out of Smith to see that streaking wide receiver. Again, number 18, I don't have a name on, but number 18's got good hands. Watch this, right down the middle. Keeps his feet moving, and the Trappers are in business. Now I'm trying to listen to what the PA announcer says his name is. He may have some inside dirt. So Smith out of shotgun again. He's got Sammy behind him. Back to pass. Here comes the blitz. Tries to bounce outside. Not a lot of space. Keeps his feet moving, but now he's going to go down in a sea of white. So Smith thought he had escaped, but then suddenly there were 2 more Bruins right there, and down he goes. So a long 2nd and 22 coming up for Fort Vancouver. Excuse me, 2nd and 21. Clock is running, but the Trappers looking more here to make good plays and have good possessions than move quickly. Smith takes a snap, looks down the middle again. That ball, just a little bit of miscommunication there. Smith puts that ball on the outside. The receiver cuts to the inside. So it's going to be 3rd and 21. So you see the adjustment here by the Trappers in the first quarter. Lots of runs up the middle, but running into that big Columbia front line. Now looking to air it out a little bit, and there's some space out there. They just got to kind of zone in on it and find those open soft spots. You watch here, there's going to be just this little miscommunication. He throws it to the outside, the receiver there on the inside. Baker Olson, the intended target. So 3rd and 21 on the 36-yard line. Smith looking to pass. Now he keeps it up the middle. He's got some space, breaks a tackle, and then eventually comes down. Nearly picks up what they lost on the sack, but not nearly enough to get that first down. It's going to be 4th down and around 13-yard lines. Watch, he was looking to pass there. I don't know if that was a dialed, a called draw, or if he just decided to bail once he saw the space. But the Fort punt team back on the field. Oh, bad snap, but he manages to bring it down. Wow, great kick. So back to return it is Schlegel. He breaks a tackle, still on his feet somehow. Breaks another tackle before eventually going down around the 26-yard line. So Petey Schlegel just proving tough to bring down. But again, a great kick there. That snap came in. I don't know if you saw it on your screen if we had cut to that snap, but he barely brings it in and gets off a good kick. It's hard. Watch this. Where here's, well, in any case, good bit of punting there, and Fort finally making some gains in the field, the field position game here, pushing Columbia back to a more difficult starting position. They're under 3 minutes here. See if they can get this ball downfield to tack on another touchdown. Well, there's a flag. A little bit of confusion there out of Columbia. You had Bryce Wang in motion across, and instead of coming down the line, I think he expected that snap, and he ran kind of diagonally across the line of scrimmage. Just a timing issue, I think, there on between the center and the quarterback, and pretty easy call there for the officials. So 1st and 15, all the way back on their own 23-yard line. Again, possibly the worst field position they've had tonight. So the officials are going to stop this one Columbia is going to stop this one with a timeout.
Hey, just a reminder, folks, the concession stands are open there in the north end zone, there in the field house. You can head on down there.
So we are here at Kiggins Bowl, Gary Boggs Field here at Kiggins Bowl. If you're unfamiliar, Gary Boggs, a legendary Fort Vancouver football coach. Went to high school at Hudson's Bay High School, coached at Fort Vancouver. The last time the Trappers made the playoffs, I believe, was under Boggs' watch. Or perhaps Cal Sieber may have taken a team a few years ago, but beloved figure here in Vancouver. You can see that young man. Reminds me of being a kid, too, zipping your face up in your jacket to keep your nose and mouth warm. Mom and Dad were smart with the blanket. But this field, named after Gary Boggs, around 10 years ago, not too long after he passed away. Fitting honor for somebody who had a lot of impact on students at Fort Vancouver High School and across Vancouver in general. So 1st and 15 now for Columbia on the 23-yard line. Looking to pass. He's got a man. That's complete. A lot of space here. Is he going to make it? I think he's going to do it. Yes, all the way to the end zone. Sawyer Muehlbauer sneaks out of nowhere. The 6'4" wide receiver wide open and wins the foot race. Lofts it up, no one around him, gets that football, and off he goes. Built like a tight end, but playing wide receiver out there and showing some wheels. So 36-0 Columbia. But, you know, that's the advantage. That's what you do. You run that ball up the middle so that you can break a big one on the outside every now and again. So now attempting a kick for the first time. Wyatt Stelma, the quarterback, also the kicker. See what he's got. High snap. Ball is blocked. Fort blocks the extra point. So good bit of special teams there out of Fort Vancouver, and I'm wondering with Columbia if that's not a play that they don't run very often. It seems like they're probably going for two most of the time, and with this big lead, thought they'd give the kicker a shot at doing his thing, and Fort Vancouver sniffs it out. See the replay here. So the high snap, plenty of penetration there from that Trapper defense, and they break up that one. So 36-0 here, 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. If you're a fan of high school football, you probably know 45 points gets you that running clock. So Columbia in danger of doing that here in the third quarter perhaps. Of course, Fort Vancouver not wanting that to happen. They want to get some points up on the board here and end their season with some positivity. You can see big number 60 there, Nicholas Modaliki, talking to a coach upstairs about what's going on, getting a little instruction from up top. See the headphones on him, although it's pretty hard with the hair. You see it right there, yeah, getting some instructions from up top. Those coaches up in the press box here at Kiggins with one of the best seats in the house. Back to kick again is Humberto Polito, who we've seen had some really good kicks tonight. Another deep one. Big leg on Polito. That ball fielded about the 5-yard line. Good over-the-shoulder catch there. He's got a little bit of space, cuts it back up, now cuts it to the outside. Another really solid return there. We've seen this a couple of times tonight out of Aiden Hyde. He did the Willie Mays over the shoulder and turned it back around and picked up a lot of yards. And watch this. Hyde going backwards, 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 catches it over the shoulder, and good blocking upfield by the Trappers. But Hyde really reading the seams well. So Fort starting on the 30-yard line. They've got 2.5 minutes here to get something in motion. Two receivers on the bottom of your screen, one on top. Smith back at quarterback. The lefty takes the snap. Nowhere to go. He's dancing around trying to find some space and eventually just runs right back into the same problem he's had all night tonight, that defensive line. Matthias Passini just in the right place to bring him down. See on the replay here, just Passini kind of hunkers down in the middle, number 77 when he pops on your screen here. Just hauling him down. You can see the frustration on Smith's face right there. It's hard when you don't get a lot of time at quarterback. It's hard to pick up receivers if they don't have time to set up their routes and get open. So Smith at the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. A little bit of confusion there, and he goes down again. Smith looked as if he were trying to hand that football off, and no one in the place he was trying to hand the ball off to, and I don't know if that's a miscommunication, if it was a play action. It's tough to say. But in any case, it's going to be 3rd and 24. Watch this. He thinks his receiver is going to be on that side, or excuse me, his running back, it looks like, and just a little miscommunication there from him and Sammy results in another big loss. And we're under a minute here. This clock is running. It's going to be 3rd and 23. So 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation. Smith back to pass, going up to seam again. He's had some luck there tonight, and this ball is intercepted. Petey Schlegel having himself a football game. So you see the arm there on Smith. Looking for that seam route again. Just overthrown. It looked like he nearly had the completion there to Aiden Hyde, but that ball sails, and Columbia's going to see if it can put another touchdown on the board with just under 30 seconds left here to go in the half. So Kai Brousel in a quarterback. We've seen him run the ball successfully tonight. We'll see what happens here. He's going to fake the pitch to the outside. Nowhere to go. Good pursuit. Brousel makes something out of it, but good closeout there by the Trappers to limit that play to just 2 yards when they've been getting more than that on many of their plays here tonight. So that clock just running out. We'll see if Columbia runs another play or if they're just going to call it a half. In any case, a successful first half here for Columbia as they are up 36-0 on the Fort Vancouver Trappers on a cold night here at Kiggins Bowl. All right, folks, we are going to have some news from across Vancouver Public Schools for you, and when we come back with the second half, stay tuned. Oh, we have highlights. I'll wait a second before I cut out. Sorry, our intrepid replay crew faking out the camera there on this one. Here's that first. This is the football. This is the touchdown, I believe, that was called back. So this is not the first touchdown of the game. Petey Schlegel on the run, but there was a hold, and then you see the horse collar tackle there, which resulted in a penalty. Here's Schlegel again. The other Schlegel, Wangani Schlegel, he scored the first touchdown of the game on this play right here. Looks like cut off there. And then this is what we've seen a lot of tonight. Those runs up the middle on that particular play, the Trapper defense stuffs it. And there's that face mask. So we're seeing a lot of plays here on this highlight reel. Here's some touchdowns. Wangani Schlegel there. Here's the handoff up the middle to Castilla. That was a great play. He bounces off the top of the defensive lineman, managed to stay on his feet and rumble into the end zone. Here's Petey Schlegel on his first touchdown of the night. This went to the outside on that little fly sweep we've seen a few times out of him before diving into the end zone. Here's the touchdown pass, wide open with Sawyer Muehlbauer. And he high knees it all the way to the end zone there. Oh, well, we had some highlights, but all right, I am going to pitch it now to some videos from across Vancouver Public Schools. Make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side here.
An excavator does its job, moving dirt from here to there. Behind the controls is not a journeyman, but rather a high school student trying to figure out their career path.
I want to work with my hands. I don't want to be in an office.
At the recent Dozer Days event, students in the district's construction trades and advanced manufacturing programs took the next step toward their future. Hello, and welcome to Learning to Work. I'm Mark Reith, the Director of Career and Technical Education in Vancouver Public Schools. For little kids who attend Dozer Days, it's a day of fun. For high schoolers, it's fun, sure, but it's also a glimpse into their potential careers. In the pavilion at the Clark County Fairgrounds, more than a dozen companies and organizations are gathered to recruit the next generation of building and manufacturing professionals.
It's great, I love it. So you gotta, meet so many new people, hear about so many new things. Just even if you come here not knowing what you want to do, maybe you'll find something.
Through conversations with potential employers and with professionals in the field, students are able to narrow down their interests.
They just gave me information, just giving information, giving our resumes, making connections with people.
There are so many job opportunities in the trades, it can be overwhelming.
Coming in here, I was more interested in maybe operating equipment, but then talking to the equipment operators and then going 10 feet over and talking to the electricians, I realized that the electrician sounds more my style and like what I want to do.
I would like to do a little bit of everything, but I'm like welding, manufacturing would be cool, yeah.
Students are learning professional skills and certifications in the construction trades and advanced manufacturing programs. So they're ready to take the next step upon graduation.
I've definitely learned a lot more math than I would in the regular classroom. Learning how to problem solve, like I go to my teacher, hey, I don't know how to do this. Well, go ask a coworker, or go try to find 3 solutions and come back to me. We can talk about it. It's pretty good for problem solving, like in the real world, yeah.
Depending on what they want to do, the real world might include college or trade programs, or going right to work.
I'm really happy I got my pass set already.
The Nutter Foundation puts on the annual Dozer Days event. Demand for qualified workers in the trades is high, so if you're interested in one of the district's programs, check out the website, vansd.org/choices. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Mark Reith.
Yeah, so today's training was all about academic language development and specifically supporting our multilingual students, middle school through high school, for content teachers and all disciplines of teachers, so that our students get the language support that they need so that they can develop those skills that are going to make them successful in life.
I didn't speak English. I didn't know English. I was born here, but I didn't speak any English going into kindergarten. And so I have a unique perspective that there's the supports with teachers knowing and learning about EL and multilanguage and how they can support can really benefit students, because I have that firsthand experience. We didn't have those type of things in 1988 in North Bend, and so I felt very alienated. It was terrifying a lot of times, and so to have the empathy for the students, and then not only having the empathy but having the tools to help support them, especially with visuals and repeating things and all the different participation techniques, is really helpful.
I think we focus on academics, but I think it's far beyond that. I think when a kid that is learning a language, learning a culture, understands like, hey, this teacher or these people around me are trying to help me out in any way they can, I think it just builds that confidence, and it's like, hey, people love me here, and there's that sense of belonging, which is so big, and if they don't feel like they belong here, then it makes everything that much harder. So yes, academically, we're helping them out with, for example, like a sentence starter, or this is how you say this, like, or the practice a sentence in English a day. Like, that's all great, but it just, in the grand scheme of things, it just shows them that, like, hey, like, we understand that it is very difficult and that it is hard, and we're here to help you out. And if they see that at the middle school, or even elementary, then middle school, then high school, then there's like, hey, nothing's really changing. Everyone's here for me and to help me out, and I think that's just much bigger than anything else.
I really enjoyed the training today. I actually am familiar with the presenter in other work that she's done, and so as someone who, my background is in multilingual language learner education, that was an exciting thing to see, because working with our ML students, I want to see them supported in all of their classes with their language development, because really it's not like students just learn English in one class and then apply it in their other classes. They're learning language skills in all classes, and so that gives them the tools they need to be successful.
The shop at Fort Vancouver High School is a busy place. In a sea of sparks and noise, you'll find beauty. Advanced manufacturing students at Fort are learning not only how to make strong connections with metal, they're learning how to make strong connections with people. I'm Mark Reith, the Director of Career and Technical Education in Vancouver Public Schools. The Fort manufacturing students recently completed a collaborative project with Vancouver School of Arts and Academics, with some great results. The new wing at VSAA, paid for with bond dollars, is absolutely beautiful, with a new gate to keep the school secure, but they had a problem.
We realized that in the evening, the way the gate was configured, people could climb over and that sort of thing, and so we knew we needed something.
In stepped the manufacturing program at Fort Vancouver. Using VSAA's traditional symbols, which represent the different art forms taught at the school, Fort students built a piece of metal artwork to block the gap.
And they created this amazing project, and it was really cool because we know there are great artists at every school in our district, not just our school, so it's fun to have artwork from other kids.
For the young craftspeople at Fort, this is real-world learning.
I liked the scale. It's the largest thing I've ever gotten to work on. It actually went somewhere, so I can go visit the school, I can see my work.
So my takeaway was this was a great introduction opportunity to working with other adults. I know they're going to go out into the world and work with many different adults within their company, but sometimes they have to work with people outside their company. So this was a nice way for them to work with someone that has a different perspective than them, maybe doesn't have the shop knowledge, and then taking their current knowledge and working with someone else to find a creative solution.
The project took more than a year, but the end result is beautiful and represents the district's spirit of cooperation.
And it's just nice to have a piece of our work, quality, up at a different school for people to see.
One of the things I love about Vancouver Public Schools, and I worked in another district for 19 years, so I have a little bit of basis for comparison, is I do think there's kind of a spirit of all the students are our students, that, buildings work with one another. If they come up with ideas that are in the best interest of all kids, it's not sort of, we keep to ourselves and protect what we have, we share. So I thought that was really cool.
If you're in the neighborhood, stop by. The front gate at VSAA is visible from the sidewalk and is a really impressive accomplishment for these students. And if you want to become a part of this, the Advanced Manufacturing Program at Fort is a magnet program open to all VPS high school students. Registration for next school year starts after the winter break. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark Reith.
The Washington State 2024 Outstanding Assistant Principal.
A little overwhelming seeing everybody walk in, and when you see Jack Aaron walk into your school, you know that something big's going on.
We are so excited today that we get to announce that Dr. Nick Davies, assistant principal at Eisenhower Elementary and Ogden Elementary, is the Washington State 2024 Elementary Assistant Principal of the Year.
I'm extremely humbled that people would nominate me and that the state would recognize me like this. There's a lot of amazing assistant principals out there.
Really what stood out to us was Nick's ability to really connect with each and every kid at 2 large elementary schools, and for 2 staffs and for 2 lead principals to say, gosh, when he's here, it feels like he's never been gone.
Just grateful for all of the support that everyone's given me. Everyone knows you can't do anything by yourself. Yeah, I'm being recognized, but there's been so many people who have helped me along the way that it's all for them too.
We're just so proud of him. We're just so proud of him, and we can't wait to share his great leadership throughout the state.
Have you ever thought about pursuing a career in healthcare? Are you fascinated with the human body? Do you want to make a difference in people's lives? Then the Medical Arts program of choice is where you should be. Students in the Medical Arts Half-Day program build the foundation to succeed in 2-year programs, 4-year colleges, and beyond as they pursue careers in healthcare. Regardless if you are just starting out in the field as a certified nursing assistant or are going on to be a nurse, veterinarian, dentist, doctor, or psychologist, the skills and knowledge you will acquire in the program will set you apart from the rest. Students will learn how the human body and mind work through a variety of classes and hands-on experiences. This includes a state-of-the-art anatomage virtual dissection table. They will also learn about the many healthcare careers in the Health Sciences STEM lab and understand the responsibilities of the entire healthcare team. Students are provided opportunities to volunteer at healthcare-related events working alongside professionals and can also participate in job shadows. Students in the Medical Arts program can earn several industry certifications, which are exactly what colleges and employers are looking for. Students can also earn up to 17 allied health credits from Clark College to get a jump start on the next phase of their education. The healthcare industry is growing and is in need of caring, highly motivated, and hard-working professionals. Get a head start on your career and make a difference in your community. Explore careers in healthcare and be part of the medical arts program. Are you interested in learning about cultures different from your own and incorporating global perspectives into your classes? Do you want to participate in research-based learning? Are you looking for a program that prepares you for college and life after high school? Then the International Baccalaureate program may be for you. The International Baccalaureate is a worldwide honors program with an internationally designed curriculum for students in grades 9 through 12. It stresses the importance of developing critical thinking and research skills that help students find success in college and the world beyond. The IB program has two options for students: the diploma program and the career-related program. The diploma program requires students to take advanced coursework in 6 subject areas, giving them an interdisciplinary education that prepares them to not only get into college but be successful while there. In the career-related program, students get to choose a career pathway and IB courses that complement their academic strengths and interests and support their long-term goals. Both programs push students to get out of their comfort zones, involved in their communities, and engaged in research-oriented thinking and experiences. If you are interested in an education that challenges you, that focuses on developing knowledgeable, confident, and caring young people, the International Baccalaureate program is the VPS choice program for you.
Sportsmanship means like a safe environment, but also being competitive.
Well, you have to learn how to lose graciously and also win the same way.
Sportsmanship to me means making the field of play and whatever sport you're playing in a better place for the other people who are playing in it, as well as the fans and coaches that are coaching and watching.
Sportsmanship means to be positive no matter who you're going up against or where you're playing.
It's just like getting along with each other, even if we don't like each other. It's still like respecting each other. You don't have to like somebody, but it's nice to respect someone, especially with a sport that we all enjoy.
While sports are fun, it's also developing character, and to be a good character, you have to show good sportsmanship. So it's sort of setting you up for the real world.
I think it's really important because it shows the type of person you are, and having good sportsmanship, that's what makes you a good player.
It really shows that you care for the team and you care for the people that are on your team and that you care for the sport as well.
It makes me feel as a player like I want to keep on playing the game, you know?
It makes other people want to come back and like play their sport. I mean, why would you come to a sport that you love to play but hate it because of the people there?
If you have a bad experience, you're not going to want to do it, especially if it's your first year. If you have a bad experience, you're not going to want to come back and do it.
It's a good way to make friends easier, and you don't want to have fights or just beef with anyone.
Because, you know, you're going against them in a game, but it's like we're still all friends. We're all doing the same sport. So it's like we're just here to have fun. So why not support each other in that? And so those are always the best games.
All of our drivers that they are the face of VPS. They're the first person that kids are going to see in the morning. They're the last ones that they see.
Welcome back to this VPS Game Time presentation of Greater St. Helens League football. Tonight we have the Fort Vancouver Trappers hosting the Columbia Bruins, and the Bruins are up big, 36-0 at the half. They are set to kick off here to the Trappers. We get underway here in the third quarter. My name is Nick Vole. I'm flying solo with you tonight on the call. Thanks for sticking with us, and hope you're having fun tonight on this last Football Friday of the year is what I was trying to say. This is the last game of the regular season, with the playoffs looming next week, and for both of these teams, that will not include them. So this is the last shot they've got to play their football of the year. Hoping to have a fun second half here for you. And back to kick off is Humberto Polito. We've seen some good kicks out of him tonight, and we'll see if he can boom another one. This ball going to be fielded around the 20-yard line. All the way back to the 35. Looked like, was that Matthew DeJesus on? No, the big guy, Ryan Faomina, with the return, 6'5", 340. Good opportunity for him to do something fun, and is likely his last game of football. I believe he is a senior. Yeah, he is. So coach giving him a fun opportunity to return a kick. It's a nice thing to do for your senior, kind of reward them with something fun for a hard season, a hard 4 years of putting in here in the program. So Fort going to start off with the football on the 35-yard line. Smith back in at quarterback. Going to take the snap. The lefty looking down the middle. He's got a man, and that ball is complete. Good pitch and catch there. Smith finally had a little bit of time, something he has not had a lot of tonight, and he's able to throw with ease into that tight spot. Watch this. His eyes locked in there. And again, number 18, whose name I do not know, makes the catch. And we've seen some good plays out of him tonight. Good hands. So first down on the 48-yard line for the Trappers. Smith takes the snap, going to hand it off up the middle. Not a lot of space there. Good bit of push there from the Columbia front line. So a 2-yard loss on the carry there from Zayats. Going to be second down and 12. Trappers break the tackle. They send 2 wide receivers down to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. Here comes the blitz. Smith rolling out to his left, pointing downfield. He's got a man. He throws it. That ball's overthrown and nearly intercepted. Smith trying to lead his receiver there and can't quite make the throw. One of our Trapper players here is slow to get up. Zayats, that he is going to trot off the field. See, Smith sees him, just can't quite put it in the right spot. So it's going to be 3rd and 12 from the 46-yard line for Fort Vancouver. Trappers here spread out with 3 wide receivers on the top, 1 on the bottom. Smith looking to pass. Going down that seam again. That ball just overthrown. Looks like a flag coming in. We may have a pass interference there. Official's going to talk this one over. See what the call is here. Looks like, yep, it's going to be pass interference against Columbia, so that's going to march the ball forward here.
Illegal use of hands.
Excuse me, illegal use of hands is the call.
Against Columbia.
So that's going to be first down, it looks like, and they're going to push that
Pass interference, rather,
line of
signaled
scrimmage
against Columbia.
forward.
So that 15-yard penalty will be good for another Trapper.
So a 15-yard penalty, a costly one there for Columbia, as they were poised to make a
Columbia
stop.
territory, ball spotted at the Bruin 39-yard line.
First and 10 from the Trappers from the Columbia 39, the best field position we've seen Columbia River with so far tonight. Smith barking out orders to his team to get him in the right spot. Quarterback's job to do that, obviously. Back to pass, looking to his right. Got a man out there, number 18 again, and he is immediately swallowed up, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Trappers.
You can see here, just immediately met there by Wesley White. So Smith now running back and forth between the sideline and the huddle. Trappers moving methodically here. And the right hash mark near side of your screen. Smith looking to his left. He's got a man in the slot, and that ball is just beyond the fingertips there of Evan Martinez.
Pass intended for number 8, Evan Martinez.
See Smith looking out here to his left. Has the man, but just puts it out there just a smidge too far. And Martinez can't come down with that one. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Trappers. Smith getting his team in position here. 3 wide receivers on the short side of the field. He's got a man out at an island on the top left, but he's going to swing it down. Oh, just too low there, beyond the fingertips.
This time a little too low for his intended target.
So Anton Hill Jr., the target there, not able to
that'll bring up a 4th down now
pull in
for
that
the
low
Trappers.
pass. You can see it here, just skipping off the turf before Hill can get there. You see Smith, or Hill there rather, getting a little love from the coach there, saying good route. So Fort back to punt. Punter just off our screen here to the left. There we go. Another boomer. I think that's Zayat's doing the kicking tonight and showing a lot of leg tonight. I mean, he's taken some hits and some rough spots, and he's gotten some good kicks off. This one sails a little bit, but you can see the leg. See that ball just trickling into the end zone right towards camera 4 here on the end of our field. 9:07 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Columbia with its first possession of the 2nd half. See who comes out at quarterback. We've seen a pair of quarterbacks here tonight. Kai Brousel, looks like he is in at quarterback. We've seen him running only. We haven't seen any passes out of him yet tonight. He's in a tight formation, and he's going to hand it off on the end around. Schlegel again. Petey Schlegel on his feet, finding the corner, still all the way dancing up the sidelines. Nearly got around all those Trappers, but forced out. But a first down here for Columbia. Petey Schlegel's a tough dude to pull down. Just watch that little shifty run in there, just finding the little seam and bouncing where you got to go. So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for Columbia. I'm going to hand it off up the middle again. Schlegel's got some space. He's going to go. Wangani Schlegel. Touchdown, Columbia. As soon as he got through that line, there was no one there to track him down, and Wangani Schlegel goes to the house. See this replay here. As soon as he gets through that line, all of the Trappers are up on the line or the other side of the field, and Schlegel just goes. Just a nice, easy stride, and he finds the corner of the end zone. So 42-0 Columbia, and they're going to attempt that extra point again. Stelma with his second opportunity for an extra point. His first one was blocked. Let's see what he can come up with here. Another high snap. This ball is up, and it is good. Just squeaks through the upright. Didn't have a lot on that one, but you don't need a lot, so he got it through. Reminds me of, for you olds out there like me, Tecmo Bowl, where you barely hit the line and the ball just gets there, and kind of Stelma with that approach on his extra point, and it's 43-0 Columbia. One more score from Columbia, and we will enter a running clock situation. We have seen this young man several times tonight. And there he is enjoying some top ramen. That's what you need on a cold night like this, some warm soup. That's a young man who knows how to stay warm. Good for him. Some happy Columbia fans there. You know, a winless season so far. I'm sure it's gratifying for those families to see their young men get a win here tonight, as it appears is going to happen. Columbia up 43-0. There's something about when you're on a team that doesn't have a lot of wins, and I can tell you I was there in high school. The wins you do get are extra sweet, and this will be a fun ride home tonight for Columbia if they're able to hold on to this one, which they likely will. So Humberto Polito back for another kickoff. This one's going to be fielded around the 20-yard line. Nice little return there for about 10 yards. Trying to get a number on that kick returner. You can see, I believe this is another this is number 65. So I don't have a name for number 65 either. So I'm not sure who that is, but a good kick return. You know, sometimes too, you're seeing these rosters that get printed up at the beginning of the year. It doesn't count for GV players getting called up or kids who are able to join the team later in the season. So 8 minutes left here in the third quarter. Kyler Smith at quarterback in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off up the middle. No, he's going to keep it.
Kyler Smith will keep it himself.
No go there. Loss of 1.
For a 1-yard loss. Back to the 32-yard
Kyler
line.
Smith.
2nd and 11 coming up.
Maybe a little bit of injury there. Just taking his time getting up. Teammates help him up. Sometimes, you know, you get that little stinger, especially on a cold night. Just takes you that extra beat to get up. You can see him just holding on to that there and being met by a pair of Bruins. I will say one thing that I've been really impressed with tonight on both sides here is sportsmanship. You saw right there the Columbia player attempting to help up the Fort player, and you've seen that a lot tonight. And, you know, there's a certain kinship when you're on teams that are not, you know, winning. And so these teams respect each other, and it's fun to see. So 2nd and 11 for Fort. Smith back to pass, looking to his right. He's going to go up the middle. That ball's behind his receiver and going to fall incomplete.
Kyler Smith pass.
Smith's just having an issue dialing in the accuracy tonight. It's hard, though, when you're that quarterback and you feel the heat coming, and even when it isn't coming, you feel it. Like, he's got time here. Just sort of throws it behind his receiver, although it was well defended. Aiden Martinez there was right on that receiver. The junior linebacker right there on your screen, number 44. So 3rd and 11 for Fort Vancouver. Smith with a quick pitch outside, little screen play. Good yards and a big hit met. So Aiden Hyde using the wheels to pick up some yards there, but not enough space in Columbia River. Excuse me, Columbia closes the door. I'm so used to calling Columbia River as that's one of our school district schools. I'm afraid that's the first time I've done it, though. That's pretty good. We're in the third quarter. So Hyde showing, like, on those kick returns tonight and then some of these offensive plays, he's got some speed there, and if they can figure out ways to get him the football, might be able to make some plays. But for now, Ford is going to settle in for another punt. Zayat's back to make the kick. We've seen some good ones out of him tonight. Heat comes. That ball's blocked. Zayats recovers his own punt, but he's going to go out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So Columbia bringing the heat and getting what it wants, which is a punt block. Watch this. Just nowhere to go, and that ball is tipped by looks like Kai Brousel, who we've seen at quarterback, and he's a big guy, 6'3", and gets that big mid out there and swats that ball down. I will say it's amazing this year. I've been doing VPS Game Time football for, I want to say 11 years, maybe longer, and this is the first season we have ever had where it has not rained the entire season. And I said that earlier, and one of our crew members told me I had jinxed it. It was going to rain, and I don't think it's going to rain. It's kind of amazing. This is our 10th broadcast of the year, which is also the most we've ever done, and we're doing it with high school students who are volunteering, coming out here on their Friday nights to do something fun and make a positive difference for their school. Good team tackling there out of the Trappers, driving him back. I think Baker Olson on the carry there. And excuse me, no, not Baker Olson. I saw 4, but it's actually number 44. That's Aiden Martinez, who just made the good defensive play. So a 2-yard gain there for Columbia.
Aiden Martinez on the carry for the
See
Bruins.
the team tackling there, just meeting a red wall.
For Columbia.
So 2nd and 8. Brousel under center. Going to pitch it. Not a lot of space there. That ball kind of haphazardly carried, and a lot of Trappers in the area there to bring down Sam Ovalle, the senior.
All the way back to the 31-yard line.
See number 11 there, just barely holding on to it there as the Trappers come in. Good replay angle, kind of showing how he was just holding on to that ball, and Trappers able to force a loss there. It's going to be 3rd and 14 now. So we're seeing some different players in here for Columbia, some substitutes who maybe not getting as many snaps on a regular night. They face down 3rd and 14 on the 30-yard line. Here's going to be the handoff up the middle. The tackle from behind there. Great job from Micah Selvog, just holding on and bringing that runner down. Ovalle on the carry again. So it's going to be 4th and around 9 yards, 10 yards. Actually, they're going to push it back just a little farther than I thought, maybe 11. In any case, a 4th and long here, but in this position, obviously Columbia going to go for it. 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Trapper defense trying to get a stop. Give me a little another of those end arounds we've seen all night tonight, but this time a different ball carrier, and Fort manages to make the stop, and they're going to take over on down. So Aaron Johnson on the carry, trying to get that first down, not able to get there, and Trapper defense holds.
And the Trapper defense holds.
Good bit of tackling, one-on-one there. Matthew DeJesus, a name we've called a few times tonight, hangs on and brings down the offensive player, and Fort takes over. See what they can try to put together here. Seems like all night tonight, Kyler Smith has been just a hair off, and if he can kind of dial that in, Trappers might have some success moving the football here. It's hard to throw that football on a cold night like this as well. You don't think about the fact your hands are freezing cold. The ball is hard to grip when it's cold like this. You think of the NFL quarterbacks with the pouches, and we do see Kyler Smith out there with a pouch, hopefully keeping his hands a little bit warm here tonight. He's going to Look to pass again, too. This time it's a fade route. He's got a man open. Oh, and it just looked like Anton Hill didn't know where the ball was. Didn't turn on the jets there to get under that football. Watch him throw it down there deep. And Hill just sort of looking around like he couldn't quite figure out where that ball was or didn't anticipate where it was going to go. And good effort to go downhill there from the Trappers, but Hill's going to head back in, gets a little pep talk there from coach. "15 seconds left here in the third quarter. Fort going to squeeze off one last play. Smith there looking to his right, now to his left, on the roll to his left. Got a little bit of space. Picks up 6-7 yards on that carry. Still on his feet somehow. Manages to pick up 7 yards, so they're going to have a pretty manageable third down here as Fort. So at the end of 3, Fort Vancouver trailing Columbia 43-0. So Smith here just wisely holding on to the ball, finding the space. Just kind of doesn't go down until that second tackle. It's good that he eventually did. That's a tough one because, you know, he's getting held on to there by Lucas Yarnell, and when they've got the leg, hey, look, it's our student crew. These are the guys who are bringing the football to us tonight. They come out, hey, look at that. They come out here on a Friday night having some fun. These are all Fort students here tonight. There's our crew in the booth. Got Noah and Conrad there. So great job from our student crew tonight. It's been really fun. You know, this program years ago, 20 years ago, this is actually our 20th anniversary, started as Fort Sports. So this program was entirely located at Fort Vancouver High School, run by Andy and Joel Burhow. Starting with some old equipment, they would tape the games, wouldn't play on cable until the next day. It was a 6 to 8 hour setup for those guys every single time. They came out here for years and did it, and about 13 years ago, we came in and started giving them a little bit more help from a district level. Eventually, it became VPS Game Time, and I'm just thrilled to have all these Fort students out here on the 20th anniversary of this program to kind of celebrate the history of their school's program and get involved in this cool extracurricular activity that they have the opportunity to do. So great job from teacher Jonathan Jenkins out there at Fort, who's getting his kids involved in these extracurricular video activities. So here's Smith with the direct snap, looking to run it up the middle. It looks like he's got enough yards here for the first down. So the Trappers convert on third down, and they're going to keep this drive moving.
First down. 1st and 10. Fort Vancouver, ball now spotted at their 41
You see Smith getting his instructions there. It looks like he lost some piece of equipment along the way, but he's ready to go back in. So just a planned run there by the quarterback right up the middle. So Fort with a pair of wide receivers on the bottom of your screen, one at the top. Smith's going to whip it out really quickly. A little screen pass. Great move. There's Hyde. We've called his name, and now he's got some space. What a carry there. Aiden Hyde picks up the low pass, ducks two defenders, and picks up a big gainer for Fort. Watch this. Oh, hopefully we'll see that here in a sec. Hyde, we were talking about that a moment ago, just needing a little bit of space. See if our replay operator can run that back one more time. I want to see the ducks if we can see it. See it really quick here before the next play. Watch this. Whoop. Whoop. Great bit of running from Hyde. Thanks for bringing that back, guys. I really appreciate it and showing the folks at home. And back to live action here. Smith looking to pass. He's got a man on his right. He's thrown it deep. That's going to sail out of bounds. So double coverage out there for Columbia.
For his intended receiver, Aiden Hyde, that pass falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Trappers.
So 2nd and 10 here on the 30-yard line of Columbia for Fort Vancouver. Under 10 minutes left here in the football game. Trappers come up. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Shotgun formation for Smith. Scrambling now to his left. He's going to keep this one. Picks up some yards. Gets out of bounds around the 22-yard line. So Smith getting smart here. He's seeing he doesn't have much downfield, and he's making that decision and picking up big gainers for the Trappers. So good quarterbacking out of Smith there to make the right play. Watch this. Looking, not there. Hey, I've got some space. Here I go. A little stiff arm to boot. Third and 5 now for the Trappers. Obviously 2 down territory here, so you don't have to get it all at once. Just looking to make some positive yards. Kyle Sammy in the backfield. See if he gets another touch. We saw him a little bit earlier, but that stiff front line for Columbia means we haven't seen a lot of runs. The heat's coming. That pass, he's got a man. That's a touchdown. Trappers. Great toss, great catch. 6 points, Fort Vancouver. Anton Hill Jr. gets open and gets in the end zone. Good toss there from Smith. Hill gets the space. Smith puts it over the top. Fort Vancouver is on the board. Gets a little love from his teammate there. That's a well-earned touchdown. So in for the extra point. Zayats, who we've seen on this kickoff so far. Another big leg, and that ball is no good. He pulled it left. So Zayats with the boom, but not the touch. So 6 points here for Fort Vancouver. They trail 43-6, but they are on the board, and they've got a little bit of momentum. So again, that's talking about that a little bit earlier, some of this stick-to-itiveness that this Trapper team has under Coach Doug Bilodeau. Down but not out. So 8.5 minutes left here in the football game. For these seniors, this is the final, likely the final 8.5 minutes of football they're ever going to play in pads. So trying to make the most of this here. Some of these Trapper players and some of these Columbia players as well seem like good candidates for maybe some small college football. You see some speed, you see some big guys out there. Hopefully, if this is something they want to pursue, hopefully they'll have those opportunities. We've seen some successful Trappers in college level in recent years, playing various levels of college football. All right, so Zayats back to kick off for the Trappers. Another good deep kick from Zayats. Fielded by Polito. Breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, still on his feet. That ball's loose. It's in front of the Trappers bench. We'll see who comes down with it. It looks like Fort Vancouver, I believe, came up with that football. I saw an indicator from the official, but let's see what they say. Oh, no, now they're saying the opposite. The first indication from the official was that the Trappers had it, and I don't know if he changed his mind or if I just saw it wrong, but in any case, it's going to be Columbia football. Here's Polito there. The ball loosened there and then poked out from behind, and it looks like, yeah, that football just goes out of bounds.
All right.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 43-yard line for Columbia. Looks like they're going to take a timeout, talk this over. In the meantime, if I can find a commercial for you, I'm going to take a very short break. Yeah, let's take a short break. I'll be right back.
Want a career that makes a real difference? Do you enjoy helping people? Then you belong in the Medical Arts Half-Day program of choice. Students not only get hands-on to learn medical basics, they use state-of-the-art technology, explore the many jobs available in healthcare, earn certificates that employers and colleges are looking for, and make connections with professionals in the field. Make your community a better place working in the high-demand, rewarding field of healthcare. Get started today in the Medical Arts Half-Day program.
And we are back. You know, when you're doing these games by yourself, it's nice to take a breather. So I just took a short break there, and here's Columbia back at it with a little handoff up the middle with the fullback. Aiden Martinez with another carry and picks up about a yard.
He hands off to number 44, Don Martinez. He picks up a yard to the 44-yard line. 2nd and 9 coming up for Columbia.
Now the PA announcer pronouncing number 44's name, Adon Martinez. So if I've pronounced it wrong to Mr. Martinez, my apologies. He is in at the fullback position. You see him there on the left side of your screen. This time it's going to go to the tailback. He's got some space to bounce out to the outside. It's a foot race to the end zone. Pushes off the defender. Can he make it? He does. Touchdown, Columbia. Sam O'Valley with the carry.
And he's in for the score.
49-6 Columbia. Takes it to the left side. Breaks it back to the left. Going to watch. He's going to have one opportunity there to bring him down, and Sammy can't do it, and Volley rumbles into the end zone. So 49-0, and looks like Columbia is going to attempt an extra point here again. Wyatt Stelma back to attempt it. Wesley White, the holder. Snap is good. The kick is up. It looks good. And it is. So Stelma with a short kick on the first, blocked on the first attempt. A pretty short kick on a second attempt. And this time shows the leg and boots it right through. And it is 50-6. Looks like there's a flag on the field. Let's see what this is for. Looks like it's offsides on the Trappers, but that is declined. So the kick is good.
Will be declined, and the extra point still good. Our score was 6:45 left to play.
6:45 left here in the football game. This person on the sideline, these folks on the sideline have the right idea with those stocking caps. A cold night here tonight. I'm hopeful our camera operators are still going to have their digits when this game is over. It's cold out there. Try to warn everybody to dress warmly before they come. Some of them took that advice and some did not. It's always hard on the first cold football game of the year because we've had such great weather. The kids come out and, you know, it's hot for half of our season, and then all of a sudden it isn't quite cold. So, but again, no rain. That's the important thing. So it looks like we might have a new kicker in here for the kickoff. If I'm not mistaken, it's Sam O'Valley who just scored the touchdown. It is, and you know, I've said this before, but it's one of my very favorite things about high school football is just the versatility of these young athletes. You see the running back is the kicker, and he boots it up to the up man. So Fort going to start with some pretty good position. Here's Kyle Sammy taking it to the outside. He's going to get it about to the 45-yard line. We saw earlier for Fort, we saw some of the big fellas, the linemen in the returning positions. Kind of a fun little treat for them.
So 1st and 10 for the Trapper offense. Ball spotted at their own 44.
So into the game for the first time, I believe, for Columbia as a 6'3", 380-pound freshman, Trenton Boydston. Trappers perhaps looking to avoid running into him on the run here. It's not often you see a player listed on a high school roster at that weight and height, so fun to see the big guy doing his thing. This ball nearly intercepted.
Pass broken up. Intended for Logan Dwight. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Trappers.
I believe I heard at long last the name of number 18, Logan Watt, from the PA announcer. He's having a good ball game. He's not had a ton of catches because the ball has not always been there from Smith, who's in a hurry, but getting open and making plays. So see if they can get him the football one more time here. 5:15 left in the 4th quarter. Smith whips this one out, and that ball is dropped. Nearly a fumble. That ball on a kind of a level plane there, and called his name, and right there number 18 Watt, and he wasn't able to hold on to that football, and he regrets that one, of course. But again, these cold nights, anything like that attempt there, that's a finger catch, right? He's catching that with his hands, and on a cold night when your fingers are frozen, it's tough to bring those kind of balls down. So 3rd and 10 for the Trappers. Smith looking to pass. Over the middle, that ball is nearly intercepted. Hits the turf instead, and it's going to be 4th down. Smith loves those seam passes up the middle, but Columbia doing a really good job of zeroing in on those. So it looks like the Trappers are going to go for it here. 4 minutes left in their season. Why not? But balls like that, you can see Smith has a fine arm. It's just a matter of having time and getting his feet under him to put it where it needs to be. And he is only a junior, so they are going to have him back next year. And this varsity experience, of course, going to be very valuable for him as a senior next year. So Columbia dropping way off the receivers, willing to give up something. And this ball is thrown out into the flat, and not into the flat, excuse me, upfield, but not enough for a 1st down. Smith electing there to take the inside receiver, Aiden Hyde. He had Anton Hill Jr. wide open on the top side, and the defensive back, for some reason, it dropped back nearly 15 yards. So he throws it to the nearer man, and he's tackled short of the line, and Columbia's going to take over. Just over 3 minutes here left in this football season. The Bruins in no hurry here. A little handoff to the up man. Not a lot of space for Martinez, and he's pulled down for a gain of about 3. So even when they get there, Martinez, such a dynamo, able to push his way forward through that traffic. You can see the way he's built. Big and strong and tough to bring down. Falling forward always, which is just good football. We do have a Trapper player down, unfortunately. It looks like it might be Isaiah Muli Mohatau. He's getting attended to now, so we're just kind of hanging tight. And there's our little friend again, trying to stay warm. And his fam. Now, what is that in front of him? Is that some sort of warmer? I think that's what that is. He may have some sort of little space heater or something in front of him. I'm guessing that's what that is. Looks like he knows what he's doing. He also doesn't look cold like the rest of us, so I'm guessing he's got something going on there. And you know, nothing's going to make that trip back to White Salmon warmer than a W here for this Bruins team on their last game of the year. Good news our injured player, Isaiah Muli Mohatau, back up on his feet, walking off the field under his own power. Helmet's off, but looks like he's doing okay, so that's great news. So the clock moving here. We are at 2:20 left in this football game. Columbia hands it again to Martinez, and he rumbles forward, picks up another couple of yards, and they're going to be looking at about a 3rd and 4. See, that's what I was talking about right there. That's the good sportsmanship all night long there. You see that Ryan Faumuina picks up the runner and gives him the little tap on the head, say, hey, good carry. Because, I mean, this stuff's supposed to be fun, right? High school sports. So, you know, this kind of sportsmanship is just always really nice to see. Under 2 minutes here. Another little handoff up the middle. Is he going to get there? I don't know about that. See what the official says. No, not much of a gain there at all, and it's going to be 4th down. Just under a minute and a half here. This may be the last play we see Columbia run of the night. Looks like the Trappers took a timeout there. Great shot you see there. You saw there just coming flying over the top. Number 57, Drelix Antonio for Fort, trying to make that stop. Well, I suppose now's as good a time as any to talk about next week. We may have a football game for you. We hope to have a football game for you. Skyview winning tonight against Union and sewing up the likely number 2 spot in the Greater St. Helens League at the 4A level, which means they potentially could host a playoff game next week. They are going to finish the season at 8-1, very high in the RPI rankings throughout the state. Camas, I have not been able to check the scores yet tonight, playing Battleground tonight in a huge matchup. I'll see if I can get a score on that for you while we're waiting here, but if we are going to host a playoff game next week here at Kiggins Bowl, VPS Game Time will bring that to you. So a minute 22 left here in the game, 4th and 3, and it looks like Columbia's going to punt. The heat comes, that ball is kicked straight up in the air. And it is actually going to lose yardage on the punt, and a negative net yardage punt. Just a strange play there. It looked like maybe kind of came off his toe. And watch this. Takes the snap, and it just goes straight up. You look at the punter himself looking up like, where's that football? And then it rolls backwards. So Fort with under a minute here, trying to squeeze off a couple more plays before this season is over. Smith and a quarterback here. The rush comes. He's got a little time. He's going to take a shot downfield. That ball is nearly complete. Hit him right in the hands. Great throw there. Anton Hill not able to pull that one down. Hill had the space, and the ball was right on the money, and just kind of one of those over-the-shoulder catches that can be kind of tough to bring down. So our crew there having some issues, I think. We're trying to finish out strong ourselves here. 10th game of the year, folks. So 29 seconds left on the clock. It looks like Fort may have taken another timeout. So a little bit more about our program here. VPS Game Time is a program supported by the district at the district level. We work with high school students at every high school across the district to bring you live sports, and this is available to any student. You don't have to be in a video production program. You just have to want to get involved in sports broadcasting. It is volunteer-based. We do offer internships that offer both pay and college and high school credit. So if you're interested, this is something you can get involved in. You can check in at your local high school and talk to your video production teacher. All right, back to pass here. Smith flushed out of the pocket to his right. He's got a lot of space, but he's going to go deep. He's got a man wide open if that ball gets there and just falls short. So Smith saw the play, but running to his right, throwing with his left arm across his body or back, it's just tough to get that ball where it needs to go, and that's looks like our camera operator fooled for a moment there. Just short. You can see there the receiver not quite able to get under that one. So Smith making the right read, but not able to complete that pass. So Fort takes its final timeout of the year with 17.6 seconds left to go. You know, you've got so much time here, and you might as well take advantage of it. It looks like they're ready to go as Columbia talks over their side of the ball. That is one of the more exciting things, talking about video production programs and the sports they're able to put on. And all of the schools now, the 4 comprehensive high schools, have equipment to do their own broadcasts. So we're going to start seeing more of that in the winter season. We saw that a little bit this fall with volleyball. We'll see a little bit more with basketball come winter. All right, here's Smith. Prevent defense here from Columbia. Smith throws it into traffic, and that is incomplete. So another attempt to get that ball to Hyde. He can't come down with it. The clock is running, so they may not get another playoff here. That might be it. Although, nope, he snaps the ball. The refs let it go. May have been a little offsides there, but that ball is caught. Anton Hill Jr. ends the season for the Fort Vancouver Trappers with a positive yardage play on a difficult catch. And Columbia rolls into Kiggins Bowl, knocks off the Fort Vancouver Trappers 50-6. Ending their season on a positive note. Both teams going to finish now at 1-8 on the season, and let's look at some game highlights here. And this is what we saw a lot of tonight. A lot of runs here from the Schlegels. So this is Wangani Schlegel with the first touchdown of the game. You saw it right there, and here he is again with the touchdown. This ball up the middle to Castilla. He scores the touchdown. That's the incredible play where he bounced off the defensive lineman, kept his feet, and scored. And here's somebody we called a lot tonight, Petey Schlegel. Quick to the outside, reads his block right, and dives into the end zone. And this big pass play, one of the few times all night long we saw Columbia pass, this time to Sawyer Muehlbauer, and he goes the distance. Here's Smith. One of many sacks we saw tonight out of that Columbia defense. Just sort of that kind of night. Columbia's defense stout up the middle. Another touchdown here for Wangani Schlegel. This time to the right side, kind of bouncing this ball back. This great run here. Sam Ovalle starts off left, bounces back right, and just sort of outruns the defensive players chasing after him. Here's Kyler Smith on the Fort touchdown. Perfectly executed pitch and toss there from Smith to Hill Jr. And there's one of the final plays of our football game. And 50-6 is our final score. Folks, we want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching us all season long. We hope to be back next week if Skyview can host a playoff game. And if not, we've been glad to bring this to you. We'll be back in basketball season at the very least to bring you games from all over Vancouver. And folks, I just want to say thanks for putting up with me as a solo announcer tonight, and we'll hope to see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.